In a somewhat obvious turn of events, Nick Wayne's mother joins the patriarchy, sticking it to Adam Copeland in the main event of the TNT title match. We had Continental classic action up and down the card, and a former AEW Women's Champion returns to maybe stake her claim for the title once again. A jam-packed show which we're gonna go through today. What's up, people? It's your boy Mekz WrestleManiac, if you will, back again with another episode of Revolution Radio alongside my co-host NK.
Yo, people, it's your boy NK, man. The hour too sweet to be sour. You know, it's only been a week, but it feels like ages since I've spoken AEW in it. But yeah, man, it's a jam-packed show. There's a lot that happened today, man. So yeah, man, let's get it cracking.
Yeah, let's get it cracking. Big up everyone that's watching live. Big up Nakai in the chat, nice and early. And big up everyone that's gonna watch this back. Yeah, like we said, quite a few talking points coming out of this show, which is good. Apparently some of the people in the streets on the Twitter machine and everything are saying that AEW is coming back. I feel like, you know, we're in the right direction for sure, but it's probably a bit early to give that whole consensus and open that conversation again. What do you think?
Yeah, no. I think, you know, the streets were just happy that, you know, we finally got, like, it felt like, and I wouldn't say we're back, but like we've turned, like we're turning in the right direction. We haven't walked it yet, but we're turning the corner. And this is like, the show still had some hokey moments here and there, but it started small with a certain return as well. It started to resemble AEW of old, small, but we're not fully there yet. The work still needs to be done.
Yeah, of course. And of course, we are on the road now officially towards end 30th of December. So we are, you know, 4 weeks or so out from that. Building to that nicely. But we'll get started with the review at the top of the show. You know, we're kind of still in the midst of this Continental Classic, which, in fact, we'll just kind of start with this. I think this tournament has helped a lot of what we were just saying in terms of just bringing the old times back, bringing the good times back. There is still hasn't really been cleared up, especially where we go from once the winner takes these new title and the other two titles. But I just feel like this has just brought a lot of, it's really steadied the ship. It's really given us something every week to look forward to. That table's really on both sides really taking shape now. You're getting invested in characters, whether they're winning or losing, and it's done a lot of good. And you almost think this is the sports presentation that you guys said you're gonna do in the first place. We lost our way with the rankings. We at the time we all had a lot to say about the rankings, but God knows I will take those back in a heartbeat. You know, even if they were not always making sense, sort of thing. But this is, you know, the alternative in terms of the presentation, the alternative in terms of the match quality. This is what we signed up for. And I feel like, yeah, we're really getting it. And like we touched on at the top of the show, the people are generally happy with what they're seeing now.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you said, this is kind of what we had been asking for. And the reason why these tournaments work is because they're free excuse to like get as many wrestlers on the card as possible, wrestling matches with actual stakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys, they're not just having bangers for the sake of bangers. They're having bangers for the sake of progressing in a tournament that will lead them, to a prize that we think's a bit hokey. But at the end of the day, it's still like it's still an accolade, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's been great seeing, for example, I wasn't a fan of Mark Briscoe being announced in the tournament, but I can't lie, he had a good performance this night. I will get to that in detail. And then obviously seeing a guy like Roosh, a guy I've been clamoring for, and even on the Collision side of things, seeing guys like Brody King, Andrade finally get the TV time they've been honestly deserving. And this is what tournaments do. It's like, just throw these guys on TV, get these guys out there. And yeah, I just feel like this is exactly what AEW need. And for God's sake, man, I know us fans sometimes can be like critical, but the rankings overall were a good thing. I feel like
Yes.
sometimes Tony Khan likes to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like just tweak the rankings. We didn't say throw it out. We
Yeah.
just said tweak it. But this guy went and just took the rankings and said, "Dash, no, bring them back. This is the sports presentation that we're feeling." And then, yeah, man, we're gonna get into like the nitty gritty of stuff. But yeah, this is what I've been asking for, man. This is what I've wanted, man. And even like, I have an incentive to tune in every week. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not like the main storyline, I have a reason every week to tune into Dynamite, tune into Rampage. Like, when I miss Collision, I feel like I missed something important because I missed the progression of the Continental Classic, in it. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, winning or losing, the characters involved, you're getting invested. Yeah, we'll speak about kind of individual performances and stuff as we go through it. But yeah, like you touched on in the rankings were what we wanted. Just I remember my biggest issue at the time being that people were racking up wins on Dark and then became number
Yeah.
one contenders. You're not even wrestling on TV. Like, how can this make sense? Like, I don't mind if you're winning on Dark, but I felt like the points or the weighting should have been different. So almost like if you got a win on Dynamite, that's like a 3-pointer sort of thing towards whatever title. If you get a win on Dark, then it's like a 1-pointer, if you see what I mean. Like, just something like that. But this, away from the rankings, has been very, very good. And I'll hold my hand up and say, my bad. People that I didn't want to see in the tournament are putting on some really solid performances, which we'll get to. But yeah, we'll start the show. Anyone that's watching live, that's watching back, please hit the like button, subscribe to Rest Things. If you're feeling froggy, become a member. There's a lot of good content coming out early for the members, and we've got a Discord, private Discord, to talk and wrestling. So yeah, that's something that's there as well. But we'll get to the Dynamite emanating from Montreal, Quebec. The show opened up with a Continental Classic match, Moxley versus Roosh. One that I guess a lot of fans would have been, it's mouth-watering, these guys and just what they're going to do in the ring. And it was that kind of match. It was that kind of no-nonsense lariats, suplexes, top rope suplexes, belly-to-belly suplexes, hard-hitting chops, all of that kind of stuff. Defiance amongst two men, swearing at each other, not giving up, all of that kind of stuff that you can expect. In the end, we saw a Death Rider from Moxley, and then the rear chokehold that he uses. Roosh kind of, I thought they done Roosh a bit dirty here with how, the referee kind of signaled for the bell a bit too early, I would say. We didn't even usually get the usual lift the hand and then, okay, he's dead, and then, ring the bell. I felt it was almost, it felt like a screw job, I can't lie. But like, and then Roosh, huh?
No, I said, and that's the only like drawback of having these as TV matches. I'm sure he did that to cut time, or just, okay, let's get to the next match. Or
I don't know. I don't know. I did really feel bad for Roosh with the finish, because once it's like the bell went, it's like as they said on commentary, like he woke up, he realized, oh, he's lost the match, and he done well to kind of continue selling it, being angry at the ref and this, that, and the other. But I really think like they didn't once they put him in the chokehold, just like back in the day, the minute Shawn Michaels put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter, they called for the bell, and I was just like, give him a chance, sort of thing. So yeah, Moxley beat Roosh. 3 points more to Moxley. Moxley's on 9 points. And at this point, he was obviously top of the Gold League, leading the charge. Now, I don't know your opinion, NK. We'll come to it in a second. A lot of discourse online that I've seen, people are not happy with Moxley. A lot of people saying that he's literally off the back of this match, and I can only say it's off the back of this match because I've seen it today. He's a rubbish wrestler. He's not selling. And I think the frustration comes from him and Roosh obviously just like slapping the hell out of each other and all that kind of stuff. And probably neither men are selling as much as they could. Now, I don't believe at all Moxley's a rubbish wrestler. I think he's actually a terrific wrestler. Like he's really tidy. But do you think, have you ever spotted this whole thing of Moxley doesn't sell?
yeah, no, I saw it. I saw a tweet I think this morning, it was like, Moxie doesn't look like he's trying anymore. And I'm like, what match are you man watching?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Like, what match are you man watching? Like, this is like, when I was watching this match, I literally said, this is real men. This is real men just scrapping. This is I would compare this to, like, not entirely, but like a Ishii versus a Shibata match where they're just,
Yeah.
it's just like these
Machine for machine.
yeah, just wish if these two wrestlers are two wrestlers, like, even in commentary they sold it. Where it was like, they're very like big on like machismo. They're very big on just like going forearm for forearm, strike for strike. So if you're not seeing like, yeah, a 20-minute rest hold or something like that, or man like selling his life, like, that's not what the match was, and that's not who these characters are. So what were you expecting from this match? Like, when this match was announced, I said, okay, these men are just gonna start no selling each other, doing forearms. And if that's not your cup of tea, that's fair. But just say it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Don't try to spin it as, oh, he's not trying. People who understand who Moxley and Roosh are know exactly what they were doing in that match. And that match was excellent. I watched this morning. I really enjoyed that match. But yeah, I saw that criticism this morning. I was baffed. I was like, Moxie, the guy who still hasn't taken his vacation from 2021 that was supposed to be, that was supposed to have, and you're telling me his head's checked out of the company. My friend, if his head was checked out, he would have been taking the time off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the one who, I think I saw in the interview, he's the one who even said he wanted to be in the tournament in the first place. He said like something like, whenever AEW have an idea, I just want to get myself involved. And I think he was referring to the Continental Classic.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, he's that guy. Like, honestly, I don't think he knows how to be checked out.
No.
Like, he comes and it's like, 100 or nothing sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I never see nothing. It's always 100 sort of thing. So,
Because when
yeah,
he checks
I mean,
out, he will literally check out.
yeah,
just
funny enough, I don't know if you saw the other day on the timeline. I think it was like years later of the year anniversary of when he was leaving WWE and they gave him that mask gimmick and all that crap. Like, even then, when people were booing and stuff, this guy was trying to get over this nonsense sort of thing. Like, and he knew he was leaving anyway. Like, yeah. I've never seen a checked out Moxley in any iteration. I don't think he is his style. And as for the lack of selling, I think it's literally just a case of these men are going at it at each other. Like, it's not like I hear like, yeah, they're not selling in between, but party, like, it's not that kind of occasion.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, it's just context matters. I feel like sometimes in wrestling, a lot of people take things like either from like a 1-minute clip or an isolation and not understanding who these characters are.
Yeah,
it's like these men are gonna wrestle a certain way. The same way I don't expect Adam Copeland to be like spamming V triggers in the middle of his match. Like, I know who's wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I know who's wrestling each other. So yeah, man, I just think a lot of fans need to just use discernment. And again, you know how wrestling fans are. It's like, either they have an agenda against Moxley or they're using it for tribalism purposes. It's just like, it's whatever, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's crack on. We had a segment with Renee Paquette interviewing Roderick Strong and the Kingdom. This was on the top of the ramp, and Roderick Strong at this point, he's just shouting everyone's first name, and the crowd, they seem to still enjoy it. He's basically saying he is sick of being held up by this whole wheelchair stuff, like holding himself back, making decisions and being at the consequence of his own decisions, which I was like, okay, what's he talking about? I think what was funny, a couple of times in this promo, you could clearly see he's lost himself. He's not a promo guy. This guy was just waffling, forgetting what he was supposed to say, and then repeating his bars, sort of thing. Like, but because of his like erratic character, he almost gets away with it somewhat. But yeah, the long and short of this segment is that he seems to be back. He's ditching the wheelchair stuff. Yeah, he's gonna take some action in the next few weeks. What did you think of this segment?
I'm just happy Roderick's gonna be wrestling again. Obviously, there was an announcement that happened later on, but
Yeah,
like I said, like I'm tired of it. But I do want. I mean, Roderick Strong. I want him to wrestle, and not because Roderick Strong primarily like isolated him. He's an amazing wrestler.
yeah,
Like even though like it's not even just like oh I hate sports entertainment in AEW, which I'm not a fan of. It's just like Roderick Strong. That's not what you're here for. At least that's when Roderick Strong signed for AEW. This is not what I expected him to do.
no,
This is not a great utilization of the skills Roderick Strong has. Roderick Strong is great in the ring, and like I said, I feel like they've missed a step with this feud. The fact that we haven't gotten Roderick Strong versus MJF is criminal, but we move on. Um, and yeah, I guess it's good to see Roderick back in action. I hope the neck brace goes next because I don't want it the whole match to be him selling his neck the whole
yeah,
time. Like obviously you have to sell it, but I just get rid of the neck brace. It's not a real injury. Say you've recovered and then go back to being Roderick Strong. You can still keep the annoying whiny character. That's fine. Keep the whiny character, but let's get back to Roderick Strong being an in-ring competitor.
yeah. I enjoyed the fact that they, WWE when he was at WWE, they put him in the Undisputed Era, which was a very highly charismatic group where he didn't need to do too much. Even when he kind of transferred over to Diamond Mine, he was at the forefront of Diamond Mine, but they had Stokely at the time as the mouthpiece of the group. AEW have made a really good effort here to bring out a character in him. So I respect the effort. I think he was perfect, at Adam Cole's side, telling Adam Cole, don't trust MJF when he was just like still a regular guy. He wasn't too over the top, but he was getting his promos in and really selling to the fact that you cannot trust this guy, like, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we know Cole got injured. They probably deviated from the initial plan, and that includes Roderick Strong's character, and shouting Adam got over, and then he just became like a comedy-esque kind of character. So yeah, if you can go back to more of just the wrestler that he could be angry and whatever, whiny, like you're saying, that's fine. But let's just slow down on the comedy elements and stuff, I reckon now. Backstage, we had Renee Paquette again. She was outside MJF's locker room, but Hangman rolled up. Hangman Adam Page, she asked him, yo, like, where have you been? It's been a couple weeks since your death match and everything. Hangman, perfect stuff. I love when they do this stuff, right? He said, because he got hit in the head with a cinder block, he wasn't allowed to fly and all of that kind of stuff, which is what would happen. So, yeah, they've just covered that whole thing up quite nicely, showed he was recovering. He's obviously still talking about Swerve, the disrespect of, coming into my house and everything like that. But, I know what you're after, insinuating an AEW title, I suppose, and I'm not going to let you get it. Simple as that. And I think that was a nice little way to kind of put a little ribbon on the feud for now, sort of thing. They will obviously, come back and readdress that. MJF comes into the picture. There is a war of words between the two of them, talking about, how you had a title reign for 6 months. I've got a one for over a year, but mine was better. When I lost the Diamond Ring tournament, I went and won the world title and all of this kind of stuff. Just back and forth between the two. And it ends in MJF accusing Hangman Adam Page of being the devil, which Hangman laughs off and said, that's pathetic. Why would I wear a mask and all of this kind of stuff? But it's got the internet talking. Hangman as the devil is a thing that people have been discussing all day. Now, I don't think it's Hangman, but at the same time, the only thing that's kind of bothering me, the 1%, if you like, I never expected to see MJF as a babyface. He is the eternal AEW heel, MJF. That's what we always thought. Are they going to turn the eternal AEW babyface to this bad guy? To this?
No. Do now to answer your question. Will they in the future? Possibly. I think no. I think possibly, and I even think a heel Hangman later down the line would be a very interesting turn for him.
Mm.
But when it comes to MJF, no. One, there's no this devil character seems like someone who purposely wants to torment MJF, right? And I feel like for it to be satisfied, it's got to be someone that's close to him, because this devil character is purposely like tormenting him. And Hangman doesn't like MJF, but like they don't really have a history like that. Like their history is very like, we've interacted in these fleeting moments, but we've kind of gone our separate ways. We've never really crossed paths. But what this did, but like you said, MJF is like the eternal heel of AEW, and Hangman is like the permanent babyface. When I thought about the future of AEW, I thought about Hangman and MJF as like the main, like one day, maybe MJF's second or third reign, as like the, predominant heel of the company, going on a reign of terror, another one, and then Hangman being the one to like end it. I think Hangman and MJF are like the two like homegrown stars of the company. So seeing these two interact just like made me smile. And this is kind of, again, we spoke about like not necessarily AEW being back, but course correction. This is who the attention should be on top of all the other stars that are on the products. But these are the guys, Hangman and MJF. I think they're 1A and 1B in terms of like the stars that AEW have catapulted into like superstars.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega was already established. John Moxley was already established. All these guys were already established. Hangman was a guy on Ring of Honor and New Japan. He was there, but he was kind of seen as an undercard guy. We know what his storyline with Kenny Omega did for his success, and now he's seen as like one of the top guys in the AEW. MJF, as much as I've had critique about this run, about this title run, MJF running AEW is undeniable. He's one of the fastest rising young talents I've personally ever seen in wrestling. So just seeing these two interact made me want a feud so badly. And even though I want MJF to lose the title, I was like, do you know what? If he holds on to it a bit longer and we get this feud, I'm not mad at it, because I want to see this. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what good a pro wrestling should be. You should tease a match and have me crave and want to see it. And that's what this segment did, man. And thankfully, Hangman bring Hangman back to the main event scene, man. He's been dodging this title since CM Punk. We know why, but come on, man. This is where he belongs. Bring him back.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was good to see these guys. I think the future of AEW, that main event scene, the leaders, it is very safe amongst these two. I don't expect either of them to go anywhere anytime soon. And what, more so than like I said, what the internet talking about is Hangman the devil. More what I got from this was they're lining up another challenger, the next challenger for MJF. Like and like you said, I want Samoa Joe to win the title this month. But if MJF keeps it beyond then, we've probably got a January pay-per-view. We're going to have a February pay-per-view, a Revolution, whatever the case is. I think, maybe this is me booking, Hangman will get a title match with MJF and Hangman loses. And then maybe the next promo for MJF will be MJF Swerve. And if Swerve wins, then like straight after Hangman loses, and then that obviously goes into the Swerve Hangman kind of beef they've been having as well. Like, see, if I get this opportunity, I'm not gonna, bottle it like you did, sort of thing. But yeah, I think what we saw last night, more so than anything, was just laying of seeds for a possible feud between them in the near future, which was fair. I don't think, neither do I want Hangman to be the devil. I think that would be an absolute disaster. Like, unless Hangman is the devil and it's like Adam Cole and the Bucks are the masked men as well or something. That's the only way I'd be interested in this, but I don't want it anyway. So yeah, interesting segment though to see them on TV together. So after this, I think we were back into Continental Classic action. We had Swerve Strickland versus Mark Briscoe. Like I said at the top of the show, man, I hold my hands up. I didn't want Mark Briscoe anywhere near this tournament because they told me this was going to be 12 of the best AEW. And respectfully, I don't believe Mark Briscoe is one of the 12 best in AEW. However, his performances, not just in this match, throughout this tournament, have been great. They've been really, really good. He put on a great performance on the night against Swerve as well. Swerve right now is just in a different class. He's in a different bracket. He's in a different echelon sort of thing. I was wary about them putting him in this tournament straight off the back of the death match. But it's a very good way to kind of keep him hot, keep him on TV, keep him interested. And where I guess up to this point, we've seen a lot of character work from him with the Hangman stuff and the Darby Allin stuff, you know, from All In. Now we're just like getting to see him wrestle. Like they're showing us kind of Swerve the wrestler away from all the storyline kind of bits. Yeah, this was really good. Swerve planted him with a Death Valley driver and got the pin. They went for just a bit over the 15-minute mark because they got the 5 minutes remaining from Justin Roberts. Yeah, very, very good match. I think probably one of the better matches on the night, one of the better matches within the tournament that they've had. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought this was great, man. Obviously, you know, yeah, Mark Briscoe is also someone that I didn't want in a tournament. I was like, Mark Briscoe, because if I'm keeping it a buck, I've always preferred Jay as a singles wrestler to Mark. But obviously, you know, rest in peace, Jay. He's no longer with us. But you know, like Mark made a good account of himself, and Mark's been a good wrestler. And I think this is another thing about like why tournaments like the G1 work is because like there'll be wrestlers there that you don't really think highly of that will come out and have a decent showing. There's been countless G1s where I'm like, I'm not really high on this guy, but then they'll come out and then they'll just put on a performance. You're like, hold on, wait a minute. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And Mark Briscoe is one of those guys. But I think Mark Briscoe's role, I think his role in the tournament, obviously he's been mathematically eliminated from like winning the tournament, but I think he's gonna be the spoiler. He's gonna spoil the film for someone. And I think he's gonna spoil the film for Swerve. If they've they've already faced, sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, has he faced Moxley?
No, I don't think he's faced Moxley yet. Yeah.
I think he's beating Moxley, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's spoiling the film for Mox. That's who I think, because I was gonna say initially I thought he was gonna spoil the film for Swerve, but then I think I don't think Moxley's winning. I don't think Moxley's winning this particular bracket. And we'll get to Moxley's next opponent later on. But yeah, I think Mark Briscoe is gonna have an upset that's just gonna completely shift the standings of this. Because right now we've got 3 people on 9, right?
Or no, 2. This is hard because okay. So obviously you were insinuating about the segment we got Moxley cutting a promo backstage.
Yeah.
Swerve walks into the picture. He says, "I got 9 points too." You know, basically saying that it's him and Moxley next week in Texas. 9 points, 9 points. I think he's pretty much because there's one more week there's one more week. There's 2 more matches. Everyone's got 2 more matches also.
Yeah.
So but the person that wins out of Moxley and Swerve is almost certainly the person that's progressing from this group. So it's what do you think is going to happen next week? Who do you think is going to win?
And that's the beauty. That's why this tournament, I love it so much, because next week I have it's going to be the most tense I've been, because either man has a reason to win. It's Moxley. He's like the ace of AEW, but then it's Swerve.
Because I'm thinking if Moxley beats Swerve, then that puts him on 12 points, and then Moxley loses to Briscoe.
Yeah.
Then Swerve has to then win his next match, but then they're both on 12 points. So then what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Swerve's got to win it.
Win as in the group, the league.
But remember, we haven't had a draw yet.
I think Moxley versus Swerve as a draw would be a cop out. One of them might need to win.
No, not them two. I'm saying that if, like, for example, let's say, I feel like whoever wins that match will probably lose or draw their next one.
Oh, okay.
I don't think nobody's. I don't think anyone's going like undefeated towards the top. So
Okay.
I feel like whoever wins this match, they're gonna like balance their skills by either giving them a draw or loss, and then it's gonna shift like the rankings or something like that.
Maybe Swerve wins the match, so
Yeah,
that puts him on 12,
yeah,
and then Mark Briscoe, like we're saying, plays spoiler against Moxley, and they draw.
yeah, yeah.
So then, yeah, that just stops Moxley from being able to even
Dead in
catch.
his tracks, yeah, without him taking another loss. Because I feel like a draw, like the the time limit draw will take effect. Like they've made that a rule for a
Yeah,
reason. Might as well use it. So
yeah,
somebody's gonna get like come glaringly close. And you know what? That would make sense for Mark Briscoe's character if he like doesn't beat Moxley, but like he takes Moxley to like he takes Moxley like to the time limit, and it's like, oh my
yeah.
god, like he went out valiantly in defeat. You know what I'm saying? So, well, not even in defeat, he took him to a draw. But yeah,
Draw. Yeah.
but this is why I love tournaments and this is why me and Mex with every other tournament we kept saying, where are the brackets? Because
This is it.
speculation.
Yeah, this is part of it.
Theories.
Like,
It's a part of the tournament experience, like us coming week to week speculating. Okay, here are the rankings. Here's our predictions. I think if I'm a better man, I'll go Swerve.
mm.
But then you just can't bet against Moxley, innit?
Okay. I think I'll saving this for later, but I'll say what I'm gonna say. So, big up Saf, one of our members. He's got the Roderick strong at the top. He goes, the Continental Classic's been more enjoyable than the Champions League. He goes, he's a Man United fan. That's why.
Makes sense.
But I
Makes
hear
sense.
that, and this is what pro wrestling can give us, like
Yes.
a tournament, a sports orientated tournament. And like I said, week by week, even when we looked at the field of the 12 men and we thought, okay, like some people here were interested in, some less so, but everyone's kind of bringing something to the party. Like, who do you think is going to win the entire tournament?
Safe pick Danielson.
Okay, and I understand why.
Danielson, I think. Yeah.
I'm beginning to think it's Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
I like, for the life of me, like I'm still fixated on this whole title situation. I can't see past it, and I can't see why a man would put his 2 titles in the whole thing. Eddie Kingston is a sweetheart of the company, of the fans. Eddie Kingston is obsessed with All Japan and the Triple Crown. I can't help but think at this point it's Eddie Kingston, and he's lost the first 2 matches, right?
Yeah.
The underdog. Then he just comes and starts winning against all these other jabronis. He's lost to Brody King. It was Brody King he lost to, and Danielson.
Yeah.
Which, yes, he should lose to both of them. He can beat the rest of the jabronis in his group.
Cesaro, he's already beaten.
Stuff like that. Cesaro, he's already beaten this year, correct?
Yeah, for the title, yeah.
Andrade sounds like he's on his way out of AEW within the next couple of months from all the reports that's come out in the last 24 hours. So they probably will have a problem with him losing and beating Andrade. Daniel Garcia is still, the young boy, so we could probably get a win over him. Who else is in that group? Sorry, you remember?
Let me get them up. I think we've named them all, right? That we named Danielson, Cesaro, Brody King, Andrade,
Eddie Kingston, Garcia.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, will he have enough matches? He's got 3 more matches at this point.
Yeah, but
Cesaro,
all of
Garcia,
them.
And
let me bring up the table.
So if he wins those 3, it will just be, for now, the likes of Danielson has 3 points. He might have more by now. I haven't checked these spoilers. Brody King has 6 points. I know he's got the most points in the group as of right now.
So the table looks like Brody King with 6 points, Andrade with 3, Eddie Kingston and Daniel Garcia are the only people with 0 points.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, Danielson is my safe choice as well, but I'm really beginning to think Eddie Kingston's winning after the weekend when he lost to Danielson. I said this guy might win this whole thing,
Yeah, because I can see a final being Eddie Kingston Mox.
Thank you. That was my last point.
I could see that being the final, which makes
That was my last
sense.
point. Yeah.
But but then there's the Blackpool Combat Club element of it, where it's like you've got Danielson on one side, you've got Moxley on the other side. Do we get that as the final?
It'll be a great final. It'll be a great final. I'm just
As
really
much as I
struggling to
want
see past my man now.
yeah, as much as I want Swerve to win it, and maybe because it's a tournament, we don't have to do this, but as much as I want Swerve to win it, there's no storyline reason for him to win it. Where like Kingston's got heavy storyline tax with this, and then if you've got like essentially you've got 3 Blackpool Combat Club members in the tournament, cool. We probably know Claudio's not going to win it. Fine.
Yeah.
You could easily do a Danielson and a Moxley final, and that would be like in terms of like what the tournament said, the biggest stars in the tournament. Those two are the biggest stars of the tournament, mainly.
Yeah.
So that's worthy of a final match. I kind of hope it's not Kingston. I wouldn't be. It's fine. It's like I'm not like raging, but I'm like, but at the same time as well, I want Swerve to win the tournament, not the title.
Yes, that's where I am as well.
Tournament, not the title. So do you know what? If Swerve doesn't win it, but like he's like, I don't know, puts on the MVP worthy performance, and then maybe like gets a draw or something screws him out of the tournament, then I'm fine with it. Because I feel like Swerve not winning the tournament doesn't hurt his momentum. It's him like losing.
Yeah. Or he could take a draw somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's him losing that hurts him. So if he takes a draw somewhere, then I'm fine with it, innit? But yeah, we'll see. I think the 2 front runners for this block are clear. It's like Swerve and Moxie. But on the Collision side, I don't know.
And almost, I think as well. Again, I haven't seen any spoilers because I heard they've already taped Rampage and Collision for this week, so I haven't seen any spoilers. But I think this whole Danielson having like 3 matches in X amount of days is going to play into something.
Yeah,
he's going to lose one of them surely. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I think the blue group, the blue league, is going to be very, very tight, and that's how Eddie just slides out last minute as winning the league.
Yeah.
If we see Eddie in that final, he's winning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he's winning. He's gonna be that. This is from Masawa. This is for
That's exactly what I'm seeing right now. So
I'll just be like, we go again next year, because next year we'll have William in it, hopefully. So
yeah. Cool. All right, so let's get on. We got backstage interview, Renee Paquette interviewing Mariah May. She's talking about how excited she is to be here, and she's talking about so obviously she had a talk with Tony Khan last week, and Renee asks who's your opponent going to be for this first match of yours, and she rudely replies to Renee, it's none of your business, but she's going to be out there supporting Tony Storm for her title match on the night. We cut to the ring where we are supposed to now get Samoa Joe and MJF versus the Devil's masked men, his henchmen. Joe gets to the ring, does his entrance, blah, blah, blah. The lights start playing funny and everything. Eventually, there's 4 masked men around the ring. I can't lie. Presentation-wise, these men are looking really retributionish right now, and I don't like it.
It's
like I know you're not. I know you're not into the devil stuff. I don't mind it. I just think don't make them. They're looking retributionist. Like, right, it's a bit messy, but they don't do anything. They don't attack Joe. The Titron comes on. We see the devil. Some helter skelter on the screen that shows us backstage. MJF has just been taken out. He's been bottled. He's lying on the floor. So Joe runs up the ramp and goes backstage. We don't see anything from these two else on the night. The match doesn't happen. I've seen some people today say, bottle, glass, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, the Devil, whatever. All in all, I'm happy this match didn't happen because I just think, especially if, like they've said, that the people under the masks right now are who is going to be, the people once revealed. How would you have had a match and you would have seen people's move sets and stuff? And I don't know. I just feel like just attack people and go off. I don't want you to be in matches and all of this kind of stuff. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. What did you feel when this I guess this segment didn't quite work out as planned?
I thought obviously there's the meme going around of MJF on the floor, which I thought was quite funny. I saw a lot of speculation about somebody who was like, the way one of these guys is moving on the outside of the ring looks like Kyle O'Reilly. Like somebody was like, oh, the way this guy's shoulders moves, it looked Kyle O'Reilly-ish. And I was like, at first I thought they were reaching, but then maybe it's just me buying it. So I was like, that does look like Kyle. And then Kyle saying on his Instagram stories, I may be cleared to wrestle soon. And then the reports of Kyle O'Reilly being backstage. Like I said, I 100% think it's Adam Cole. Like it's certain. I'm more interested now on who the entourage is now. Like the devil himself, for me, it only makes sense if it's Adam. Is who makes up the rest of that entourage now? Is it Roderick? Is it Matt? Like that's who that's what I'm interested in. It's more so like not just who's the devil, but like who's the devil got with him. That's what I'm interested in. And if it is Adam Cole, he must. No, he must win the title. He must. He must. Like, I don't want to hear anything else. And that's what, but that kind of makes me scared for Samoa Joe, because you kind of got to drag on the storyline until Adam Cole's back. Because I think whoever the devil is kind of has to take the title away from MJF anyways, but especially if it's Adam Cole, he must. This is his third crack at the title. You must.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, Adam Cole, yes, but could we do a further swerve? Is a further swerve even necessary? Because Britt Baker, like, when they actually reveal the devil, could they do a swerve as in, like, maybe she hasn't been the devil all along, but she's the one that's revealed as the devil, and then it's like, huh? And then Adam Cole is actually one of the masked men on that occasion. Because I'm like, even as people that would be, like you're saying, who are the masked men? Who are 4 guys that, MJF doesn't get on with or whatever? Wardlow, I think we're probably all quite certain we can throw Wardlow's name in the hat. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, possibly Kyle O'Reilly, but that's 4 names I just said, right? Wardlow, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. But then there's still a devil. I mean, Jack Perry, people have said, I really just don't see.
No, I think it might be, obviously, if it's Roderick, then it has to be like Matt Taven on.
Yeah, so that could be the other way. Adam Cole is the devil, then the Kingdom, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
Like an amalgamation of all of like his like factions. We
his factions, yeah.
The Kingdom, so all under one, in it, which I wouldn't mind to per se, because right now, fun enough, we don't really have a lot of heel stables, do we? Except for Bullet Club Gold.
Bullet Club Gold, yeah. So all that comes to mind.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I remember AEW was
to be heel, but they're 2 over.
Yeah, they're like more. I put them in that tweenerish category. Like they're situational heels, depending on who they're facing.
LFI tweeners as well, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't many heel factions, I don't think.
So I guess it could work. But my only issue with like a whole Undisputed Kingdom thing, I did not intend to do that, but that's actually a good name,
Undisputed Kingdom. That's cold.
Undisputed Kingdom. Is once we go away from the MJF thing, is keeping me, if it is them, keeping me invested in them.
Yeah.
I think Kyle O'Reilly, if he's back, and Roderick Strong are fine. They can be rehabbed. It's Matt Taven and Chris. Those are the two where I'm kind of worried about if it is them, because I feel like those guys will kind of be left to not because of their talent, but just because of like we know how Tony Khan books. He's very fond of Adam Cole. Roderick Strong's been on TV Weekly, and Kyle O'Reilly was on TV Weekly. But those guys are only on TV because of Roderick. And I feel like those guys will be in the faction, they'll be the guys to eat pins, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably.
So that's kind of the thing I'm worried about. And if this faction has legs post Devil like storyline. But yeah, I think at this point, it's not even just because I want it to be Adam Cole. Adam Cole's the only person in my head that makes sense.
Yeah,
unless and this one is impossible. I'm not even speculating. It's absolutely impossible. But the only person I would ever think in wrestling that would be the Devil that has this much connection to MJF is Cody, and obviously he's tied up in WWE. But that's impossible. But like,
yeah, that's how I felt about Punk before. Like Punk has obviously done his dirt, but the last thing that happened was that just all work to get him out to bring him back as the Devil.
Yeah,
I thought it would have been excellent, but I think we can't count on that being a thing now. So
yeah.
It's Adam Cole, and like I said, my wild card now is Tony Khan himself. That's the only other person that I think actually makes sense, more so than Jack Perry or anything.
Yeah, because
that it could be. But yeah, that's total wild card. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't know if we're any closer to the revelation of the Devil and his goons.
Please,
but,
World's End, man. World's End, man.
Yeah, I think it's got to be World's End.
World's End, man. Please.
Cool. So we move on. At this point in the show is when Swerve and Moxley had their promo backstage and stuff. And then we had Ben Makowitz, host of Turner Classic Movies, introducing what was going to be Toni Storm's match. They made it seem like it was a film or whatever the case is. So they're still very high on Toni Storm and this whole gimmick and how they're presenting her. Toni Storm, where did they say she was hailing from now? I forgot to note that down. It wasn't from Australia, whatever. It was like a Hollywood set or something like that, they said. But Toni Storm had a women's title match, defending the title against Sky Blue, who is obviously, we know she's changed her character in recent times as well. I guess she's almost a tweener as to herself now. Pretty decent match between the two ladies, with Toni Storm retaining the title in the end. Riho came out, which we haven't seen in a long time. Kind of chased off. There's South Studio 7. Yeah. No, Tony's from. Riho came out.
I think that's a very famous club as well in Hollywood. I remember I think it was a club Michael Jackson went to. I could be wrong though, but I remember that name.
Might be right, yeah. But yeah, Riho came out, chased off Toni Storm. She's here looking at the AEW Women's title, obviously the first AEW Women's Champion. Good to see Riho back. I guess the fear is that is this probably just another fleeting visit, comes to be a championship defense, and then she goes off again for months and we don't see her.
Yeah.
What's your thought on the defense and Riho coming back?
I like it. I like Riho coming back. Just heat her up a bit, man. Just like heat her up a bit. Like I feel Riho is basically the women's division's Pac. In fact, I think I've seen. To be fair, I think I've seen Riho more than Pac now because Rio's actually showed up this year. But I don't mind having women Riho come back and be. I just want Riho to be a more consistent fixture in this division, man. And obviously, we know that she's traveling back and forth from Japan, but if the traveling back and forth from Japan is going to limit how often she's on TV, then maybe going forward, AEW shouldn't be as lenient with that. Because Riho is somebody that this division could desperately need. She's a former women's champion, but she's barely. It almost seems like AEW have kind of disregarded every champion before Hikaru Shida. Like the only champion they acknowledge, they treat like champions is like Hikaru Shida. Heck, I don't know, Thunder Rosa. I don't know where she's, but like she's still getting advertised. I still want advertisements, but is she injured? Like I don't.
She must be. Like, I see her so much doing just other stuff like YouTube and Instagram and this and that. And I'm just thinking, you ain't got a job there no more, or what? Like, what's going on? But yeah, rightly, like you're saying, the Rio, the Nyla Roses, and
Nyla
even to an
Rose is
extent,
Britt
Britt
Baker.
Baker. Like, I don't know what's going on with, maybe they're trying to really emphasize, I say, tongue in cheek, the wrestling side of things. And I think we could comfortably say Toni Storm is probably top 2, 3 best wrestlers we have in the company, female wrestlers. But yeah, it's funny now that you say it, though. Why aren't they kind of looking at some of these more legacy championship holders and like not paying, I guess, somewhat respect to them?
It's very strange, but like Riho is somebody that I would love. Listen, like obviously, Julia Hart's killing it with it. Well, not just killing it. She's just got the title. But I'm loving Julia Hart at the moment. But like, I feel like the TBS title scene is decent right now. But someone like a Riho is someone that could easily bounce between the main event scene, the TBS scene, and I just feel like we say with the women's division, like I think it's steady right now. I don't have any, even the Toni Storm character. I know a few weeks ago I was like very down on it, but I feel like they're finding the sweet spot where it's like we're doing the backstage segments, but it's progressing to stuff. We're not just doing silent film for the sake of silent film. Like the things have meaning, and I did like the Ben Mankiewicz intro into her entrance. I did like that. So I feel like they're figuring out her character, because this character I felt had potential. They just needed to tweak a few things, which they're doing. I think women's division is steady. I'm not gonna say it's improved because it hasn't, but it's just steady at the moment. But yeah, I think utilization of talent, specifically the women's division, is something that needs to be focused on. Because people like Nyla Rose, Riho, Britt Baker even can't go months without wrestling. Like it's they are former women's champions. Do you know what I'm saying? They need to be treated as such. So heck, even Saraya, like I know the neck, but like my words,
Yeah,
I can't lie. Like boy, that's a whole segment within itself. Like the signing, I'll say it. I think that's the worst signing AEW's made. Like like marquee.
I mean, yeah,
That's the worst signing AEW's as a marquee signing. Don't include like these other the big names.
yeah.
There's no return on investment.
I watched was it Collision or Rampage this past week? I have a feeling it was Rampage. And it was Anna Jay and the Outcasts versus, I can't remember who they're versing. I can't remember. But yeah, Saraya was on Rampage. Saraya's here, just kind of in this Ruby Soho storyline where she's falling in love with Angelo Parker. And I'm just thinking, there is no chance on God's green earth you were signed to be doing this.
No.
So maybe, yeah, you thought you could get back in the ring. We've seen what the levels just in general of what women's wrestling is. You can't really do it. Man. They gave her the novelty UK win, and it's, she lost the title and hasn't even cried about it. Like, just cracked on with other mid-card crap that they've given her.
She's a third wheel in the love triangle after being like the AEW Women's Champion. Like, there's no
this year, just a matter of 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, like, that whole and again, I wasn't a fan of it at the time, but then it just leaves a super sour taste in my mouth about the whole All In moment. It's like, for what?
Yeah,
for what?
I'm a fan of people having those moments. I love when like people win in their hometown and all of those kind of things. But you then have to it's not for the sake of a pop. I beg. Like, you have to follow it up. You have to make it seem that yes, now they're gonna go on a run or whatever the case is, or like not just for the sake of it.
Nah, man, it's poor, man. It's poor. It's poor.
We had, and what I noticed at the end of this women's match, obviously, but I think just as Rio came out, obviously Mariah May was ringside for the match. Mariah May was gone by the time Rio came. And that whole altercation happened between Rio and Toni Storm. My mind's running wild on this show. Like I said, I've watched it earlier and I see Eddie Kingston. I think Eddie Kingston's winning this whole thing. Same thing I was thinking here. She keeps introducing herself in all her promo segments and this, that, and the other. It's almost like I'm Mariah May from Stardom. Like on a Saturday night TV show. Hi guys, my name is Mariah May. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Stardom. Way, like, why do we keep talking about this? Now with Rio disappearing, with her disappearing when Rio appeared, as thought just came in my head, and I ain't booked this in my head already. I was just thinking, is she going to lead some type of Stardom invasion into the women's division? Because Rio coming back, we know she pops in and out sort of thing, but it feels a bit random. And this whole thing of, I was in Stardom and stuff, and I know it's akin to Toni Storm's career and stuff. Are they going somewhere with this? And this is what I thought, like maybe, whether it's a faction, maybe it's just a general, they're getting the Stardom girls over and they want Maria May to be like the face of it sort of thing. I don't know. But this Maria May from Stardom thing, if she does it next week, I'm gonna swear I'm gonna lose it.
I think I merely think it's just for Toni. I just think it's more like, hey, I think what the story is, I do see Mariah May turning on Toni more though. I think that's gonna be the play. It's gonna be like, I'm a better version of you. I had a similar career to you, but this time, like, I've made it. I'm younger than you. I'm better than you. I think that's what the story's gonna go for. And that's why she keeps, I'm from Stardom. I'm from Stardom. I don't think there's gonna be any. Listen, would I love to see some of these Stardom women in it? What?
Yes.
What? Like, what? Yeah.
And the only reason I say that as well, bro, is because obviously right now we're seeing 3 Japanese talents in WWE gain a lot of speed in Asuka and Io and Kairi in Damage Control. They've got the connections. Like, they could easily do something like this.
Yeah, but I think Stardom's its own tricky thing right now, because even New Japan can't get a handle with their women's division. So, like, they just feel like their own island at the moment. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think with Mariah May, I'm just keeping it isolated to Toni Storm, and I don't know. See, if this was and again, I just think, again, not to beat a dead horse, but if this was the men's division, easily, like, if somebody said, hey, I came from Chaos in New Japan or Bullet, easily we're thinking, okay, invasion, easy.
The whole gang's gonna turn up.
The whole gang's gonna turn up, because like AEW have, like, not only they've built that rapport with New Japan to where we can trust it, and we trust the booking of the men's division as well. With the women, there hasn't been like any sort of the last time we had like a real Joshi invasion was in the pandemic, where they were doing the broadcast match in Japan and here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We haven't gotten that stuff since, and people online are saying that was all Omega's idea. Hey, if that was Omega, bring it back, because I think that concept in today's wrestling landscape, when we're not in a pandemic and you can actually fly over, works perfectly. And I thought that, I think it's a bummer that we spoke about the Continental Classic, that they haven't returned to that women's tournament either. Because I really enjoyed that women's tournament in the pandemic. Yeah, it had its flaws, like the Japan production compared to the US production was night and day in it. But I'll forgive them where it's like, bruv, it's the pandemic. We're using their camera crew in it. That's all they had. But now, like, you've got the resources. We're sending we're sending like guys like Takeshita and Jericho out to DDT. Bro, it's easy to send some of these women to Japan. You had Miyu Yamashita on AEW, but you didn't really use that relationship with TJPW. Use it. do the whole tournament thing again. Maybe have like the Continental Classic in the winter as it is now, and then have like the women's tournament flat bang in the middle of summer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we need a women's tournament. They need the same reverence and respect that the men get. Cool. Let's continue. Another Continental Classic Gold League match: Jay White versus Jay Lethal. And the fans were enjoying this one because they were trying to come up with like different Jay chants, and with all this "Let's go Jay," "Holy Jay," and it's like, who are they actually supporting? This was a really decent match. The finish I thought was really good. We got the Blade Runner, which was countered, but then White kind of rolled up Jay Lethal, pinned him, and basically confirmed, like Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal's out of this tournament. Jay White needed this. Obviously, Jay White lost to Swerve last week. It's funny, I wanted Swerve to win last week, but I really felt bad for Jay because I just feel like we're coming off the back of Full Gear and all the nonsense that happened there. Now this guy's come and lost here again. And even, maybe I'm thinking too much about it, but even when he made his entrance, I'm thinking like, Jay's lost his smile, man. He's just thinking, you're like, what is this nonsense? This isn't what I come here for. But he got an impressive win here in what was a good match. What did you think about it?
That was a solid match. I think with Jay, it's just about its rehab now, man. Just rehab him. Honestly, bro, I had this idea. All Atlantic. Send him to the All Atlantic title picture. Send him there. I know he's a world heavyweight champion. And we look at him in that regard, but the All Atlantic title is not a title that it's not a title that we look down on. You know what I'm saying? Moxie just had it, lost it to Orange Cassidy, and I feel like Jay White as an All Atlantic champion will slowly rehab him. Because we know he's going to be away from the title picture for a while. Because not only the storyline, but just because of how like stacked that picture is, and right now like someone like Swerve's on the ascendancy. So I think sending him to like the All Atlantic picture will do a lot of good for him. But yeah, I think just collecting these wins, just rehab, man. Because I feel like that, like I said, that main event did a lot of damage, man. Did a lot of damage, and I'm not gonna say he's done and dusted, but yeah, man, it's just rehab, man. Rehab.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good place for him to land. They've done a lot of good work with that title over the last year or so with Orange Cassidy, particularly. Saying that, Cassidy ain't done much with it since he's obviously won it back with at Full Gear, and obviously that's because, you know, probably a lot of men are distracted with the tournament and stuff like that. Cassidy's off doing some stuff with Hook and Best Friends. So yeah, I think it's a great place to put it on Jay White, give the Bullet Club Gold just something to run around and gloat about as well. Yeah, I think that could be really fun, and Jay White could have some good matches with that as well. Cool. We're coming into land with the main event. Appreciate everyone watching live. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. The main event was the TNT title match. Christian Cage, leader of the patriarchy, defending against the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland. Why did Justin Roberts say it like
I don't know, you know. I thought, do you know what it is? I was listening to it, yeah, and I was like, is my suit bugging? I was like, but why is the did I miss something last week? Like there was a gimmick change, like it was bare supers. I'm thinking, wow, like what's going on?
I was thinking, yeah, is the whole, you know, the Rated R superstar, they can't be trademarks or something. Can they do that? Like,
maybe, or maybe it's just AEW trying to differentiate themselves. I'm like, no, just keep it, just say Rated R superstar and keep it pushing. That just this super, nah, bruv. This ain't the Mario Bros. Stuff, like,
I was thinking, honestly, yeah, what is this superstar? Yeah, really fun match between these two. Obviously, hella years of experience and knowledge between the two of them, history between the two of them. They had the vignette before showing, you know, where they've come from, young boys and everything. Vignette was really good. Typical early doors, Christian Cage tries to get himself disqualified, tries to go for a low blow because he don't want that match to take place. He will lose but keep the title through disqualification, but it was blocked by Adam Copeland. Yeah, there was some really nice spots throughout. There was a part where Adam Copeland done the 10 beats of the Baron like Sheamus does. He's spoken about in the past how good friends he's with Sheamus, and Sheamus helped him retrain to get back into wrestling post retirement. Christian looked good throughout. The finish, as we got towards the finish, obviously there was a ref bump. We saw Shayna, the mother of Nick Wayne, come down the ramp. I think she telegraphed it pretty obvious what she was going to do. Like you could see a mile away. She's not a wrestler, she's not an actor or whatever. I don't want to get onto her about it too much. But she came into the ring, she picked up the TNT title. Christian then obviously started overselling it on his end to kind of maybe make up for that. And he was like, yeah, not me, and whatever the case is. And she was looking at between the two, who should she hit with it, sort of thing. Which I did think at the same time was probably the right thing to do, because obviously Edge concertoed her son.
Yeah.
So I wasn't mad that she eventually used the title, whacked it over Adam Copeland's head, you know, and then Christian got the pin. He retained his title. But yeah, I just felt like it felt a bit too obvious, sort of thing, even though, like I say, Adam Copeland was a viable person to get that shot to the head. Yeah, I think the match had to end in a way like this. I'm very surprised all till now that we got this match up pay-per-view. They probably run it back at World's End or something, who knows. But for me, now going on from this match, it may sound corny and stuff, but that's how I like her wrestling. I want her to like be with Christian. Like she becomes the mother of this whole patriarchy thing. It's like, you don't have to go as far as to fall in love and start lipsing and all of that kind of stuff. Although that would be like major heat if they did. But yeah, I want her to be like, you're right and everything, and join. If she's gonna stick around, then I think it's the way to do it, to really garner the heat further. But yeah, what did you think of this match and the finish?
There was a spot in this match in particular when Adam Copeland went for the spear and Christian jumped over him and hit him with the kill switch.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that was smooth.
Yeah.
That was smooth. And maybe, I don't know, was Edge wrestling at I would say a faster pace, but like there was a lot more, because I'm used to Adam Copeland like rest hold, take his time, sell. But this match just felt like no, and maybe it's because of the feud as well. It just felt like straight at it, like we're just scrapping. Then I think the big blow off to this feud is going to be a stipulation match. It has to be, and because of obviously just the feud, but these two guys, Edge has been known as a stipulation guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like so for me, when we got this match, I was like, I knew from the way the match graphic appeared, I said, this ain't ending clean in the slightest.
Yeah.
This ain't ending clean in the slightest. And I remember we spoken about, you know, kind of like AEW losing this identity and the sports entertainment stuff. These are the guys that should be doing it because they're doing it well.
Yeah.
It doesn't, even though it's like very entertainment-ish, it doesn't insult my intelligence too much. Sure, if I think about it really, 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 really hard, I'm like, okay, cool, Nick Wade's mom shouldn't be, but okay, cool, fair enough. I can suspend my disbelief of that. But everything, like you said, even her motivation to turn against Adam makes sense. The man concertoed her son while she begged him not to. She literally begging him, no, don't do it. And man just went.
Imagine getting concertoed in front of your parents. Oh my God, listening is mad.
It's mad. It's mad. But I think this is like, And I remember like when Adam first debuted, I think us on wrestlings were like, "No, hold it off, don't give us the match." But I feel like, do you know what? Giving us this feud immediately was the best thing to do.
Mm.
It masterfully keeps Adam Copeland away from like the title picture for now. And it just gives him a deeply personal feud, which is what Adam Copeland and slash Edge is known for. We know him for the John Cena rivalry. We know him for the Jeff Hardy rivalry. Even the rivalry with Taker was probably like some of the most personal work you'll see Undertaker do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? With the whole Vicky Guerrero, it was the most like so. This is Adam's bread and butter, and Christian. Like there's these guys are too talented and too skilled at this style of storytelling for it to fail. So that's why when it comes to this, it's like, sure, is it my personal cup of tea? No, but I'm very happy to watch and consume this because they're doing this at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy
Yeah,
with this, man. I'm happy with this.
bro. I wouldn't even lie to you. By the time this main event was starting, I didn't feel like when it obviously as we're going through the paces week by week, I thought, yeah, there's elements of the sports entertainment stuff to it. But by the time this main event was starting, I didn't feel this was sports entertainment at all. This felt like a well-told story. Like what Christian is saying is big facts. Like you've been the big dog essentially our whole career. I've went away, I remodeled myself, whatever. I've became that guy. And now you're coming here to try and take my shine and stuff as well. Like, and yeah, it more or less kind of makes Copeland look like a dick. And like you said, on top of that, he's concertoed a young boy in front of his parents. Like Christian has almost, you know, fathered this guy as well, taking him in sort of thing. One could even ask here, who's the heel and the face? You know, it's like this is a well-told story, and this was like the blow off part one. Like we know 100% of part two is gonna come. You've said it'll probably be a stipulation match, and the minute you said that, I said TLC.
Yeah,
It's these guys' bread and butter. You hang that TNT title above the ring. Makes sense, sort of thing. They've got their chairs there that they love so much as well in that match. Maybe they can't call it TLC, they'll just have to call it tables, ladders, and chairs or something like that. But yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Maybe at World's End, and that could be a good way to kind of really, you know, bring this whole thing to an end, and Edge can go off and have a good run. And you've heated up Christian really well. You know, I wouldn't be annoyed by Christian having an opportunity at the world title, even in failure at this point, because he's been great. Or just does more around cultivating these guys around him now, sort of thing, and takes a step back.
My question is, now that the TNT title's involved, yeah, obviously Adam has to win the feud, right? That's fine. But I don't want Adam as TNT champion.
I agree, neither do I.
And that's not necessarily because the title's beneath him, because I think Christian's done a good job at elevating the title. I just don't want to see him with it per se. I don't know. I just don't want to see him with the title. I think it's a weird one.
Unless it's a case of Adam wins it, has a little run, and then drops it to a young up and coming heel.
Yeah.
Which could be good. So he's just basically a transitional kind of guy, which is fine. Yeah, that's probably the, you know, what we could hope for out of that situation. But yeah, I don't want him to win anyway, but the title's in the middle of them, so
yeah, because I feel like Adam, there's a lot of guys like I want to see Adam tell. Obviously Christian's kind of the introductory feud, it's the feud we know, but then after this feud, surprise me, give me a real like proper feud with like upper coming, I won't say upper coming guy, but like I don't know why this name comes to mind, but I mean Eddie Kingston, for example, a promo battle between those two would be sensational. Obviously, we all know about the MJFs and the top guys, but like even before we get to those top guys, there's still guys on like the periphery of something great that I'd love to see someone of the talent of Adam Copeland feud with. Heck, Jungle Boy's coming back. I'd love to see Adam Copeland and the Jungle Boy. Do you know what I'm saying? before we get to like the super main eventers and the Omegas, which we, by the way, we have to get to these matches fast. I think the one critique, and I wouldn't say it's a critique because CM Punk's one was riddled with injuries as well. So I'll give them a bit of grace on that. But Adam Copeland's not here for a long time. We might not get every single marquee match, but give us enough to where we're satisfied. Give us an Omega, give us a Hangman, give us like these big dream what if matches. Give us
the Omega could come early next year. And I say that because they've literally just announced they're doing this Canada tour early next year. So that could be anytime, you know, Revolution, just after Revolution, that, you know, we're getting Adam Copeland versus Kenny Omega, which could be good, which could be absolutely great. So, but yeah, it'll be nice for this next feud, whatever he does get into, it's with someone, more importantly, we haven't seen him with before. Like you said, Christian's introductory, we know of their history. My only worry is that we've seen the Hardys in the last week make a lot of noise around, we're not doing anything in AEW, blah, blah, blah. I do not want to see, say for the TNT title, an Adam Copeland versus Jeff Hardy. Like, let's not make this some old man legacy title.
Nostalgia belt, man.
Yeah, no, nostalgia belt. Let's not do that. Like, we've done a lot of hard work in recent times to dig this belt out of the gutter. The belt feels important again. Like, it still feels secondary to international title or All Atlantic title, whatever. But yeah, let's not put it back there by being foolish with it, with silly booking.
Even the Hardys match, we're gonna get it regardless. I feel like it's something that has to happen. Give me one collision match and move along. I don't want the match either way, but it's one of those things. I think it's just par for the course. It's gonna happen whether we like it or not. You have to just accept it. Dynamite and keep it stepping.
The way I had always wanted it was because, like, if I'm really, really honest to myself, like, it came to a point when obviously all of these guys, when we had spoken about Adam Copeland coming into AEW, possibly, I just thought Christian has kind of wormed his way out of this because he's been great recently. But I just thought I don't necessarily have a wrestling interest, like an ability in the ring wrestling interest in any four of these men: Christian, Copeland, Matt, or Jeff. So let them have that match on a big pay-per-view, like, and they all retire there. Like, win or lose, like, they do a bow, curtain call, they all retire there together. And I think that would be epic. But like I say, Christian's worming his way out of that because he's been great. But he can only, you know, he's only as good as the competitors and the stories and stuff they. But yeah, that's where that feud between the Hardys and Adam and Christian should end, begin and end.
The Hardys, man, have been a colossal just dud. As a, like, Matt had his uses early on in AEW. Matt had his usefulness early on in AEW. Jeff, bruv,
it's never worked.
Do you know what? It's normally I side with the talent, where it's like, you know what, I'm like, yeah, these men should be on TV more. I'm so sorry. In the list of talent that need to be on AEW television, the Hardys don't even make the top 15. They're bruv, like,
top 15, they're nowhere near the top 20, top 30. They're nowhere near.
Like, respectfully, yeah. And this is kind of why, yeah, sometimes I understand Tony Khan hiring people from the past, and the Hardys was a good pop, but this is why I'm always a bit about hiring like veterans and legends, because they always want their time in the sun. And I get it. The Hardys, historically, you know, when it's all said and done, we'll talk about them as one of the greatest ever. But today, they contribute nothing to the product. Absolutely nothing. And they don't, respectfully, they don't need to be, if we're going based on merit And like you said, in-ring ability or even as storytellers, you add absolutely nothing from the product. Nobody benefits from feuding with you. And honestly, Edge and Christian will be doing you man a favor by feuding with you. They're doing you man a favor. You're not doing a favor to anyone else. So respectfully, just take your paycheck, man.
Yeah, and be quiet and train up Isaiah Cassidy and that. Like that's all they're here to do, it seems. So I find it super cheeky by Jeff Hardy, especially this past week, saying all of this, and I'm thinking, but Jeff, you were being booked on WWE, and you chose to walk out. And all rumors were even pointing at the time that you walked out, they were going to give you a main event match. Like they were wanting to do Roman versus Jeff Hardy. Like, and you chose to walk out. I don't know again whether he was under any influence or whatever the case is. Now you come here and you're not getting booked. You've come here because of your brother. Like your brother's probably brokered the deal, like he's brokered everything else in your career. Like, do they actually want you, sort of thing?
And hasn't he had a few misdemeanors in AEW as well?
Yeah, he had a DUI drinking thing as well, which that's the recent comeback that he's done.
Exactly. So it's like I feel like even him signing for AEW, I remember was even a topic of discussion whether it was the right thing to do, and the fans were split on it, rightfully so. So it's kind of like they've given you like a lifeline to be like, okay, like prove yourself, prove us wrong, and cool. I'll leave personal stuff out of it, but in ring you haven't.
Yeah,
My friend, I have not forgotten about Double or Nothing with that match with the Young Bucks.
Shambles.
Where listen, I've seen we use carry jobs a lot, but that was literally carry. Like big up Matt. Matt say if that was a singles match, God. Like, so I feel like the Hardys are being very, very cheeky, right? Like you said, very cheeky right now, complaining when quite frankly, there's other people that should be complaining. Andrade, I hear it. Miro, I hear it. There's bare people, but you, I don't hear it. I don't hear it at all. I don't hear it at all.
I'm not trying to see you. Yeah, it's a very odd one. But yeah, that was AEW Dynamite, a solid show up and down in my opinion. Like I say, we're getting towards the final stages, if you like, of the tournament, the Continental Classic. By the end of this weekend, most people would have been, but they're down to their last two matches. So definitely kind of business end of the season in regards to the tournament. The MJF Joe stuff, it still rumbles on with this masked man yet to reveal themselves. Hopefully that comes soon as well. And like we said, the women's divisions, whether it be the TBS or the world title, there's stuff happening. So cannot complain at all. We've got a few things to look forward to next week, particularly Swerve versus Moxley in the Continental Classic. I think that could be an absolute banger, and it's really going to kind of point us in one direction or the other of who's going to be the champion of the Gold League. So that's really exciting to see. Anything else to look forward to next week?
Yeah, obviously we've got Hangman versus Roderick Strong.
Yeah, it's winter's coming next week, isn't it?
Winter's coming. Yeah, I think it's gonna be the first winter's coming without a title, the main title.
Yeah, it's kind of gone under the radar.
Yeah. Well, because I think obviously it makes sense because they've got World End coming up. So, but I kind of miss Winter's coming being like the big, but they've got the pay-per-view, so it's fine. But yeah, Roderick Strong versus Hangman. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I just pray that the match isn't riddled with like too much. Oh, my neck. Like, I know it's gonna be there, but like from Roderick Strong versus Hangman, man, like we know what we expect from that match. Just banger. Just give us that.
Well, I'll say that in the other matches during this time, Roderick Strong has had, he hasn't sold his neck. He's taken the brace off. He's had the match. He's put the brace straight back on, but he hasn't sold his neck. But obviously, this is going to probably be a bit more competitive than those matches he's had. So, we'll see. We'll see how you get on. But yeah, man, that was Dynamite, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show, Revolution Radio. Like I say, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Big up everyone that joined us live. Big up everyone that's gonna watch this back. And we will be back same time next week. See you then.